This is AI Command App News. Here are the stories moving AI tech in the markets today. Story 1. OpenAI missed its revenue targets, and the chip trade caught the downdraft. CNBC reports that OpenAI came in light on revenue, sending Oracle shares lower along with a basket of chip stocks tied to AI infrastructure spend. MIT Technology Review framed it bluntly today: Musk and Altman in court, and AI's profit problem on the same page. Why it matters. A meaningful slice of the S&P 500's gains over the last 12 months has been priced on the assumption that hyperscalers and chip makers can sell every GPU they can manufacture indefinitely at expanding margins. A revenue miss from the most watched AI company puts that assumption on the table. For business leaders, the takeaway is not that AI is over. It is that single vendor exposure to the AI capex cycle is now a real planning consideration. Story 2. Brent crude is over $115 a barrel, and the Iran war is now reshaping where data centers get built. CNBC reported today that oil extended a multi-day rally as President Trump issued new threats toward Iran, with Brent topping 115. Market Watch is circulating a global bank scenario where $200 oil tips the world into recession. On the operational side, the CEO of Pure DC, an Oaktree-owned data center operator, told CNBC the company is pausing investment decisions in the Middle East amid the conflict. HSBC, meanwhile, told clients it is, quote, turbo bullish even as the war drags on because energy producers, defense, and select industrials are absorbing the spike. Why it matters. AI workloads need power, cooling, and capital. When a region freezes new data center investment, that capacity has to come from somewhere else. Expect tighter compute supply, longer build timelines, and renewed political pressure on US and European power grids. Story 3. A regional bank CEO let his AI clone run an earnings call and then signed an OpenAI deal. CNBC reported that Customers Bank's chief executive used an AI clone of himself to handle an earnings presentation, and OpenAI announced a partnership with the bank to automate finance workflows. This is the first time a public company CEO has used a generated likeness for an investor-facing event. Why it matters. The ground is shifting on what counts as authentic executive communication. Boards, audit committees, and SEC counsel will be asking new questions this quarter about disclosure, model authorization, and the chain of custody on financial statements delivered by synthetic voice. For finance leaders, the question is no longer whether AI will touch the close, but who signs off when it does. If you are running a business and you want this kind of automation without sending your customer data to a vendor's cloud, that is exactly what AI Command App is built for. Story 4. GM is rolling Gemini out to 4 million cars, while the Pentagon publicly warns against single-vendor AI. The Verge confirmed today that General Motors is integrating Google Gemini into roughly 4 million vehicles via an over-the-air update. On the same day, the Pentagon's AI chief told CNBC that the Department of Defense has expanded its use of Google after Anthropic declined certain workloads, and that, quote, reliance on one model is never a good thing. Two stories, one trend. Consumer AI is consolidating onto a handful of foundation models, while the largest AI buyer in the world is publicly diversifying. Why it matters. Enterprises sit between those two poles. Most have quietly drifted toward one provider for productivity, another for code, and a third for analytics. The DoD's signal that multi-provider is a feature, not a fragmentation problem, is going to influence how CIOs write next year's contracts. Story 5. Seagate and Bloom Energy are the picks and shovels winners of the AI build-out. Seeking Alpha reported Seagate surged 17% after raising its annual revenue growth target on AI demand, with the rally extending in after hours. Bloom Energy posted a blowout first quarter and lifted guidance on data center power demand. Earlier in the week, Micron and SanDisk continued a multi-day rally as memory demand is now expected to remain elevated through 2030. Why it matters. While OpenAI's revenue line is the headline, the storage, memory, and on-site power suppliers are quietly raising guidance. The most durable AI trade in 2026 may not be the model companies, it may be the companies selling them everything they need to keep the lights on. One more thing to watch. Seeking Alpha reported that Chinese tech firms are rushing to buy Huawei AI chips after the launch of DeepSeek's V4 model, which appears to be optimized for domestic silicon. The US China AI compute decoupling is accelerating, not slowing. To recap, OpenAI's revenue miss is reshaping the AI trade. Iran war and 115 oil are pausing Middle East data center capacity. A public company CEO just ran an earnings call as an AI avatar. GM is putting Gemini into 4 million cars while the Pentagon hedges its AI bets. And the picks and shovels suppliers, Seagate, Bloom, Micron, SanDisk, are quietly the steadiest trade in the sector. That's your AI news for today from AI Command App Per. AI Command App Per is an AI operating system for your business that runs on infrastructure you own, your data, your hardware, your provider. Visit AICommandApp.com to see it in action.